Welcome to my channel, Learn and Speak English. Let me ask you something very simple. Have you ever understood English when you watch videos, but when it is your turn to speak, your mind suddenly goes blank? You know the words, but you cannot speak them. Why does this happen? And more importantly, how can just 10 minutes a day completely change this problem and make you speak English naturally? Today, I am going to show you a very simple method that does not need grammar books, does not need perfect vocabulary, only 10 minutes of your daily time, and your English speaking can start changing from today. Chapter 1: Why you can understand English but cannot speak. Let me start with a very simple question. Have you ever watched an English video and understood almost everything? Word by word, sentence by sentence. But when someone suddenly asks you a question in English, your mind becomes completely blank. You know the answer, you know the words, but still, you cannot speak. You stay silent, you smile, and you say nothing. If this has ever happened to you, then listen carefully, because this is not your memory problem. This is not because your English is weak, and this is not because you are not intelligent. The real reason is something very simple, but very powerful. You have learned English with your mind, but you have not trained your mouth. Think about it like this. Many students in school know the answers. The teacher asks a question, and in their mind, they already know the answer. But when they are asked to stand up and speak in English, they suddenly freeze. Their heart beats faster. Their thoughts become messy, and even a simple sentence disappears from their mind. Why does this happen? Because understanding English and speaking English are two completely different skills. Understanding happens in your brain, but speaking is not only brain work. Speaking is a physical skill. It needs your mouth, your tongue, your lips, your breathing, everything working together in real time. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you want to learn how to ride a bicycle. You watch hundreds of videos. You understand how balance works. You know how to turn the handle. You know everything in theory, but if you never sit on the bicycle, will you be able to ride it? Of course not. The same thing happens with English speaking. You watch videos, you understand grammar, you learn vocabulary, you even feel confident while watching. But when it is your turn to speak, your mouth is not ready. Your tongue is not trained. Your brain needs time to translate. And in real life, there is no time. That is why you freeze. And this moment is very painful, because inside you, everything is there. You have ideas. You have thoughts. You even want to speak. But something stops you. You open your mouth, then close it again. You feel stuck. You feel nervous. And slowly, you start believing, maybe my English is not good. But let me tell you something very important. It is not about good English. It is about trained speaking. And here's the truth most people never realize. Speaking is not learned by reading more. Speaking is not learned by watching more. Speaking is learned only by doing, just like swimming. You cannot learn swimming by reading a book, just like driving. You cannot learn driving by watching videos. You must enter the real action. And English speaking is exactly the same. Now, think about your own life. Maybe you are in a classroom. Maybe you are in a meeting. Maybe you are talking to someone online. You understand everything. You know what to say. But when the moment comes, silence takes over. And that silence slowly becomes a habit. But here is the most important question. What if this is not your final level? What if this is just your current stage? What if your mouth simply needs training? Just like a muscle, just like your hands, just like your legs, because every muscle improves with practice, and speaking is also a muscle. Now, imagine this for a second. If just 10 minutes every day could slowly train your mouth, remove your fear, and make speaking feel natural, would you try it? In the next chapter, I will show you exactly how these 10 minutes can start changing your English step by step, even if you are a complete beginner. Chapter 2: The Hidden Power of 10 Minutes Speaking Practice. Now, let's talk about something very important. Something most English learners never believe at first. What if I tell you that just 10 minutes every day can start changing your English speaking? Most people will think, no, that is not enough. I need 2 hours. I need grammar books. I need big vocabulary lists. I need perfect preparation. But here is the truth. The real problem is not how much you study. The real problem is whether you speak or not. Because English speaking does not grow by reading more pages. It grows by using your mouth every single day, even for a short time. Let me explain it in a very simple way. Think about your daily 10 minutes like a small training session for your mouth and brain. In the first few minutes, you don't need anything complicated. Just start speaking about your day. For example, I woke up today. I feel a little tired. I have work. I will try my best. It doesn't matter if the sentences are simple. It doesn't matter if you stop in the middle. What matters is that you are speaking. Then, slowly, in the next few minutes, talk about your feelings. Ask yourself simple questions in English and answer them. How do I feel today? I feel happy. I feel a little nervous. I feel okay. Again, no pressure for perfect grammar. Just let the words come out. And then, in the last few minutes, talk about your plans. Today I will study. Tomorrow I will go outside. I want to improve my English. Even if your sentences are broken, even if you repeat words, it is completely fine. Because the goal is not perfection. The goal is flow. The goal is movement. And now let me tell you something very interesting. There is a moment every learner experiences, but they never talk about it. At first, when they start speaking alone in their room, they feel strange. They look around. They feel shy. They think, "What am I doing?" Sometimes they even laugh at themselves. Sometimes they stop after 30 seconds. But if they continue, something changes. After a few days, the same person starts speaking a little longer. Their tongue starts to move more easily. Words don't feel so heavy anymore. They still make mistakes, but they don't stop. And slowly, something very powerful happens. Their brain stops translating everything. Instead of thinking in their language and then translating, they start speaking directly in English, even if it is simple English. And that is the real turning point. Because fluency is not when you speak perfect sentences. Fluency is when you keep speaking without fear. And this change does not come from long study hours. It comes from small daily practice, again and again, day after day. So remember this clearly. You don't need perfect English to start speaking. You need speaking to make your English better. And here is the most powerful truth I want you to remember from this chapter. Your English is already inside you. You just need to bring it out for 10 minutes every day. Chapter 3. How 10 minutes builds real confidence. Now let's talk about something very powerful. Something every English learner wants, but very few people understand. Confidence. Everyone says, "I want to speak English confidently." But most people are waiting for confidence to come first. They think, "When I feel confident, I will start speaking." But the truth is completely opposite. Confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes after speaking, again and again, even when you are not ready. Now let's understand how this transformation actually happens. At the beginning, when you start speaking just 10 minutes a day, it feels a little strange. You are alone. You are speaking to yourself. Sometimes you stop in the middle. Sometimes you repeat the same sentence again and again. Sometimes you forget simple words like tomorrow or yesterday. And sometimes you just go silent for a few seconds because your mind goes blank. And in that moment, many learners think, this is not working. But actually, this is the most important stage because your brain is slowly learning something new. It is learning how to connect thoughts with speech. At first, it still tries to translate everything. But after a few days of practice, something surprising starts happening. The brain becomes faster. It stops translating everything. And slowly, English starts coming more directly. Let me tell you a small story. There was a learner named Daniel. He was not weak. He was not lazy. He understood English very well. He could read articles. He could watch videos. But when it came to speaking, he always stopped. So he decided something simple. He said, "I will speak for just 10 minutes every day. No pressure, no perfection." At first, Daniel felt very uncomfortable. He stood in his room and spoke to himself. He said things like, "I wake up, I go to work, I feel tired." He stopped many times. He laughed at himself. Sometimes he felt silly, but he continued. After a few days, something small changed. He noticed that he was stopping less. He noticed that he was searching for words a little faster. He started hearing his own mistakes clearly, and instead of feeling bad, he started fixing them slowly. Then something deeper happened. One day, while recording himself, he spoke a full sentence without stopping. Just one sentence, but completely smooth. No silence, no confusion. And that small moment changed everything for him, because confidence is not built in big moments. It is built in small wins like this. And then came the real test. A few weeks later, Daniel was in a real situation. Someone asked him a simple question in English. Normally, he would freeze. Normally, he would stay silent. But this time, something different happened. He didn't panic. He didn't overthink. He just spoke. Slowly, not perfectly, but clearly. One full sentence came out without stopping. And for Daniel, that moment felt huge, because for the first time, he proved something to himself. I can speak English. That one moment became his real motivation. Not any book, not any video, but his own voice in a real situation. And this is the truth about confidence. Confidence is not something you receive. It is something you build. Every time you speak for 10 minutes, you are building it. Even when you feel slow, even when you feel stuck, because every small attempt is training your brain to stay calm while speaking. And slowly, without even noticing, you stop fearing English. You start accepting mistakes. You start continuing even when you are not sure. And that is real confidence. So remember this. Clearly, confidence does not appear before speaking. It appears because of speaking. And now the big question is this. What happens if you continue this simple 1-0 minute habit for 30 days without stopping? Chapter 4. Your 30-day transformation plan. 10 minutes daily rule. Now, let's bring everything together into something very simple, very practical, and very powerful. Because understanding is not enough. Motivation is not enough. What you need is a clear action plan that you can start today, even if your English is very basic. Here is the rule. Every single day, only 10 minutes of English speaking. Not 1 hour, not 30 minutes, just 10 minutes. You can do it in the morning or at night or any time you feel free. But there is one condition. You cannot skip. Even if you feel tired, even if you feel lazy, even if you feel you have no ideas, you still speak for 10 minutes. And what do you speak about? Very simple things. Talk about your day. Talk about your food. Talk about your plans. Talk about your thoughts. For example, you can say, I woke up today. I feel a little tired. I will drink tea. I will study later. I want to improve my English. It does not matter if it is small. It does not matter if it is broken. What matters is that your mouth is working. Your brain is trying, and your habit is growing. Now, let's talk about what happens after you follow this for 30 days, because this is where the real transformation begins. In the first 10 days, you are not perfect, and that is completely normal. You are building a habit. You are training your mouth. You are getting comfortable with your own voice in English. You will stop many times. You will repeat sentences. You will feel slow. But something important is happening. You are showing up every day. In the next 10 days, something starts to change. Your sentences become a little smoother. You stop thinking too much. Words start coming a little faster. You still make mistakes, but now you don't stop completely. You continue speaking. Your flow improves. And in the last 10 days, something very powerful happens. You stop translating everything in your mind. You start thinking directly in English for simple ideas. You don't search for every word. You start expressing yourself naturally, even if it is simple English. And now listen carefully. This is the real transformation. After 30 days, you are no longer the person who stays silent. You may not be perfect. Your grammar may not be 100%. Your vocabulary may still be simple, but you can express yourself. You can speak. You can respond. You can continue. And that changes everything. Because silence is the biggest barrier in English learning. Not grammar, not vocabulary. Silence. The moment you break silence, even for 10 minutes a day, you start building a new version of yourself. And here is the most powerful truth of all. 10 minutes a day is not a small practice. It is a daily signal to your brain that says, I am a speaker of English. And slowly, your brain believes it. So now it is your turn. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for perfect English. Don't wait for confidence. Start today. Take 10 minutes and speak. And if you are serious about improving your English, then subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment below. I will speak 10 minutes daily because your journey does not start tomorrow. It starts now. Now it is your turn. Don't wait for perfect English. Start today. Take just 10 minutes and speak out loud. If you are serious about improving your English, then subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment, I will speak daily, so I know you are starting this journey. And remember, your English will not change by watching. It will change by speaking.